What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today, once again, we're going to be going over the latest Destiny news. So there are a few things that popped up recently that I'm going to be going over. Nothing major, but pretty interesting in themselves, mainly to do with Rise of Iron and also the current Destiny we're playing right now. So the first thing I want to talk about is something pretty interesting, and it seems to be some sort of leak that happened on the Amazon UK store. So it's a pretty strange thing, nothing like Destiny 2 or a DLC, but it is something to do with Destiny that popped up called Destiny The Collection. It appeared on Xbox One and PS4 as the platforms, rated 16 and over as you can see, and this of course is the UK version, so it costed £50, which is roughly around $60 in the US. So it appeared £50 and it is Destiny The Collection. It also said that it's going to be released on August 18th, 2016, so that's the date it's going to come out, and pretty much no other description is added. This actual listing has been removed since, it was only up for a very short time, and I believe Life Lower was the actual Twitter account to first find this and screenshot this listing, so they're the ones that screenshotted this. But it's a very odd listing, and still nobody really knows what it's to do with. Of course, Activision have not announced or confirmed anything to do with Destiny The Collection. Of course, by their name, one would assume it's to do with some sort of collection of Destiny, The Dark Below, House of Wolves, and also Taken King in some sort of collection. And you'd assume that's what it is, but it doesn't really make all too much sense because we have something very much like that already, and that is the Taken King Legendary Edition. So this was a bundle that basically launched this time last year with the Taken King, and it was a sort of collection that included Destiny, the vanilla game, also the House of Wolves DLC, the Dark Below DLC, and it was basically like summing them all together. So this Destiny collection that's just recently popped up seems to be the exact same thing but for £50, which doesn't really make too much sense. You might also think that this is something to do with Rise of Iron, which I think is very likely to be, but obviously this isn't going to include Rise of Iron in itself because it launches on August 18th. Now, the date of August 18th is very interesting because that, of course, falls under Gamescom. That's an event that I'll be going to, and they're, of course, going to be revealing some stuff like we've already covered. So it appears that August 18th, they're going to be revealing something, and most likely this Destiny collection. But the main thing is that this, of course, is going to be releasing. It's not available for pre-order. This is going to be launching and out to the public on the 18th of August. So obviously, it's not going to include Rise of Iron. I think my best guess is that this is going to include a code for the Rise of Iron DLC as an expansion. Of course, when that launches on September 20th, you'll be able to play that. So I think this may be some kind of bundle to include all the DLCs together, so you can play them and get into them, and then the second the DLC comes out a month later, you'd have already kind of worn up to the game. So this, I guess, is for people who've never picked up Destiny, and maybe if you're new to it. But either way, if this is real, and if it is an actual thing that's going to be launching, it obviously has to include something other than just the Legendary Edition, which you already have, because if you want to buy that, that literally costs £30 on Amazon right now. So there's no point them selling a £50 version, which includes the same stuff. So a very strange listing, not really much we can go by. The actual description in one of the screenshots literally just says the complete collection, so obviously that's going to include all of the DLCs and vanilla Destiny itself. But the question is what else is going to be included to make it worth the price? Leave your comments and speculation down below in the comment section. What do you think it's going to be? What do you think this collection actually is? Very odd listing, but there you go. So the next thing I want to talk about is a recent patch that hit Destiny, and this is called 2.3.1.0, and this is the one they call Paving the Road for Rise of Iron. So this appears to be the last ever patch that the legacy consoles 360 and PS3 are ever going to get, and this is basically going to be their send-off patch. So there's a lot of stuff included in this. It's quite a big patch in itself, so there might be some other stuff that maybe prepares in like the week before Rise of Iron. Maybe there'll be some public events like there was for Taken King, and maybe they'll kind of prepare us for it. So maybe there's some more stuff that's hidden that's going to unlock later on. But in terms of game-changing stuff in this patch, there are a few things. The first thing that's most interesting and definitely very controversial right now is they fixed an issue where solar-based damage over time effects were dealing half the intended damage. So this, of course, means anything that burns you, Firebolts or any solar grenade, if it burns you, it was actually dealing half the damage. This is known to be sort of a bug that was introduced recently, and I noticed it on my incendiary grenade of the gunslinger of the hunter, and it was dealing a lot less damage. So because of the decrease in the burning effects, it actually meant that it was impossible for the incendiary to one-shot someone if you land it at their feet. And basically all of these solar grenades, including Firebolts, weren't as great. Of course, you probably noticed that Firebolts aren't even that good anymore. But now that bug has been fixed, they're now going to deal double the damage. So essentially, Firebolts got a little bit of a buff in the sense they weren't doing the damage they were supposed to, and now they've been increased to what they were actually intended. They obviously aren't going to be as powerful as they have been in the past couple of years, and the reason everyone hated them, they're still going to be a lot weaker, but I have seen some people complaining that they are quite strong and you can burn out pretty easily to them now. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think about them? If you've encountered a Firebolt, do you think they're good? Do you think they're balanced? Do you think they're too weak? Let me know your thoughts if you think they're overpowered or not. So that was the kind of main element of this patch that you'll notice. Everything else is basically bug fixes and pretty negligible. That increase in burn damage is quite interesting. Now, once they introduced that patch, there were a load of beaver errors apparently, so the error codes that boot you to orbit and disconnect you, but apparently that has now been fixed. So everyone wondering what was in the patch that was dropped today, that is actually what was in it. It is basically addressing the beaver errors, and hopefully that shouldn't be happening anymore. So it should be all sorted, and that's basically everything you need to know about the recent patches and hotfixes. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video, just summing up everything recently that's happened with Destiny, and of course leave your thoughts down below about that Destiny listing on Amazon. What do you think about it, and what do you think it's going to mean? Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, I'd massively appreciate that. Subscribe for more videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.